Hey everybody, welcome to Hedgehog Academy, and today it's research in the middle of painting. I got sidetracked. I was trying to find one of my mainstay staple paints, quinacridone nickel Azle gold. If you've ever used that color, it's a very specific color. The quinacridone colors were just, they add that oomph to that color, and it's made up of a couple other ones. It's actually made up of nickel Azle gold with quinacridone. And the quinacridone, they've actually discontinued. So what do? You find another color, you make up a color, you come up with something similar. Me, I like the colors so much, I will come up with something as close as humanly possible so that I'm not going to lose it. But what do you use? Why do you make this up? Well, Golden in their infinite wisdom has a great reference library. You call them directly and you will talk to somebody. They may call you back, but they will call you. They usually, like, they called me back in about 5 minutes. And I remember those guys from years ago when I worked at Artisans, that everybody, we literally, hold on, I'm leaning you. We literally relied heavily on those guys because Golden, being the company they were always asking how to improve and everything else like that. And they wanted direct answers from their customers who found answers to certain questions. So in the case here, when you call in, there is a couple options you can do. One, this is a big word, guys. It's benzimidazolone, PBR 25. Now that's a big word, but when you look it up, it's benzimidazolone. That's the word. PBR, then the pigment reference is PBR 25. So the P stands for pigment, the BR stands for brown, 25. So it's an orange. Okay. So that right there, and they were talking about a 4-to-1 mix between Azle yellow and I think a burnt orange type thing. So you can use these two together and come up with something similar to the quinacridone nickel Azle gold. But I'm thinking if you don't use a synthetic color and it's natural, it's going to flatten out more. So it's going to act more like a burnt sienna or a raw sienna. When you put it on, it dries flat. Quinacridone, when you put it on, is translucent because I think there's more binder in it. So that's another thing you can always count on. When colors are more translucent, more glossy, there's a lot more binder in it, a lot more emulsion in it. When they're really thick and opaque, when you put them on, they dry really flat. That means there's more pigment compared to binder. Good example, ultramarine blue, or the replacement for true ultramarine blue. And you'll find when you put it on, it dries almost black. It dries so dark until you put varnish over top, and that's something everybody's got to start doing. Once you varnish, then color does what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to react to light, and it's supposed to reflect and refract and all these other things, so you keep moving with your work. So anyway, that's the science behind that. So anyway, now it's I've got kind of a replacement for the quinacridone because these are both synthetic colors. One's a brown or an orange, so to say, and then I also have the Azle yellow. The nickel part bothers me because nickel is nickel. It's an opaquing. It's an opaquing thing. Nickel's always like, if you think about titanium white, okay, crimson white, lead white, very opaquing. Nickel's going to be the same way. So it's figuring out which of these colors are. It's going to be an experimentation. I'll probably have to do some drawdowns and some comparisons. This is what I got left of my nickel Azle brown, nickel Azle gold. I will cherish this as long as I got it, and then I will have the backup connected with it. So that's the object of the game. Can you come close to your colors? And that's also another thing I wanted to talk about really quick, is that we get so set on our colors that when they discontinue it, it freaks us out. Now, I've been kind of freaking out a little bit, but I'm more of an experimentalist when it comes to this stuff. And so in my case, what I like doing is I like just finding the second best thing. And when I was working for Artisans, that's the first thing I would tell those folks. I said, make sure you find an alternative, a second best, because if they happen to discontinue it, you're screwed, especially if you got paintings to do. and I've got a lot of painting to do, so I can't be mucking around trying to figure this stuff out. Now, the nice thing is you have Golden as a reference. Golden Paints, they will call you. They'll talk to you. You're talking to a person, not an AI, not a bot, not a an email or whatever. And they also will direct you in very specific ways. They also have a custom lab that will mix colors to what you want. That's an option. It's kind of like when you go into like Lowe's and you bring in a paint chip and they can match it because of the spectrometer kind of catches everything and kind of matches it a little bit. Is it perfect? Not always, but it's really darn close. Okay, so that's kind of the direction I want everybody to understand. All these kind of good things. But for the most part, when you're looking at this and all the non-culture I'm reading and stuff like that, I still think you can take the benzimidazolone brown PBR 25 with nickel azle, and will produce a full range of oranges and autumnal shades. I'm not sure what the autumnal shades mean, but the autumnal shades, depending on the proportion of each pigment used. Azle yellow will likely deepen and warm the brown, and you want a warm color because this color, it's translucent, so you might even have to take a little bit of emulsion, or I'm going to use my glazing medium because that has the same kind of properties. I might mix a little bit in there, see if I can gloss it up a little bit. Then I got a gloss medium, so why not? The other thing you can do is just try to experiment, read the nom cultures and stuff like that. But this is one color that I've used for about 20 years now. Yeah, it's been a long time. So 2014, 10 years, sorry. Seems like decades. But anyway, guys, that's my take on this. When you're replacing colors, do your research. Go to YouTube University and watch the mixing and stuff like that. I might try that and see what I might come up with. But for the most part, I'm a little satisfied with what I found out today. I will probably do a video on the drawdowns and mixes of this to see what I can come up with and how close I can match this, because that's the object of the game. Can you match it? Okay. If you can match it, then you might be able to do something with it. Okay. Well, be able to paint with it. But anyway, right now it's going off of their suggestions, and it's going to be a long, arduous road on that because this is an important color to me. It replaced my raw sienna, burnt sienna. I didn't have to use a lot of yellows, no oranges, nothing. Yeah, one color, replacing like 6 or 7 different colors. Yeah, not happy. But anyway, guys, this is Kevin with Pigman. This is Kevin with Hedgehog Academy. If you've got any questions, please post them below. If you want to see that video, I won't be doing that today. I've got a lot of work stuff to do on my pigs and a bunch of other experimentation I want to do. I've got this idea for a new series of very interesting buffalo paintings. We don't know yet. It's a secret. They'll start off in watercolors, and who knows, they may move to acrylics. But watercolors are more translucent, so we will think about that. So anyway, guys, you have a good one. Thank you so much for viewing. If you have any solutions on the quinacridone problem, because remember, they've eliminated all the quinacridone colors, and that's a huge gambit of color right there to lose. And there are also any of the quinacridones that are mixed with other colors to make those colors, they're no longer available. So if you can find some tubes out there, good luck. But it looks to me like from Jerry's to Dick Blick to the main producers, they no longer are even offering it. Good luck, folks.